Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Calsters.
And today is Sunday, February 15th, 2015. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week. And if you're new, hopefully you enjoyed today's show, because this is our 4-year podiversary show. Very, very exciting. It is the day after Valentine's Day, and technically our podiversary is the 16th, but it's close enough. So, we are going to go through a very speedy regular show, and then at the end we've been asking you all, our viewers, to ask either Callie or I questions about anything in our lives, and we are going to choose 4 each randomly to answer those questions and award you guys with some things from our stash. So we're really excited about that towards the end of the show. So if you're not interested in us personally, then you can skip that part. But yeah, so here we go. Very quick week in review. I worked all week. Tuesday we had parent-teacher conferences. I just tell you. I really love when from the minute I walk out the door to the minute I walk back in it's 14 hours. Callie's like, you got no sympathy for me this week. But yeah, I met with 5 parents, and I've got to do it again this Thursday, so. But I have tomorrow off, so I have a 3-day weekend this weekend, and I have a 3-day weekend next weekend, and I have a training on Tuesday this week, so I'm only teaching kids 2 days this week.
Nice.
That's been my week.
My week has been pretty busy. We had our large work event yesterday on Valentine's Day, and it went really well. But between Friday night and Saturday, I had a total of 4.5 hours of sleep. So it was a pretty rough weekend for me. But it went well, and that's all that matters. And kids say the darnest things, and I'll leave it at that. But it was a good week.
Good. All right, so look at that. 2 minutes in, finished objects. What's taking a bow this week? I do have something. I finished my project for our Colorwork Knit Along that's currently going on until the end of March. And I did the Domino hat by Susan B. Anderson. I used Barocco Vintage in Cracked Pepper, which is the gray, and Black, which is the black. And I used size 7 US, 4.5 millimeters. I did put it on my leading man's head, and it looked alright, I guess. It does come down far enough, which is nice. It covers the ears. I haven't really put it on since I blocked it. It's a little stretched in the colorwork. I guess it could have been a little looser. Does it look like a nipple on the top of my head? Yeah, it looked like it on his, too. So I'm not sure I like the decreases that much. This is one of our earlier patterns. I might change up the decreases if I did it again, but if Andy doesn't want it, I will give it to charity at SSK if they do their hat drive again. So it was a different form of decreasing for the crown shaping than I've done before. But
cool. I think ZK is doing Halos of Hope, too.
Are they?
I think. I could be wrong. Sorry if I'm wrong.
So that's it for me.
Awesome. Well, I have a finished object as well, and it's another Francis the Sock wearing fox. I knit this out of Barocco Vintage in the Barocco Vintage Chunky in the tan colorway. And then I kept, I still use the same Sandcastle and
Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour. I always forget because I don't have the ball band
and
on
black.
And black. But I doubled, or I held the black double, and I held Sandcastle double. So I think it turned out pretty nice. I am going to put socks on it, so I don't have those done. And I'm actually also adding a bow up here as well.
Oh, up there? I thought, didn't I see a picture?
I know. My original one I sent to my friend Emma because her friend Carolyn had a baby boy and he was born premature. They had asked me to make a fox anyways, so it was done. And they asked me if they could have a bow tie on it, and so I found a real simple, easy bow tie on Ravelry. It was free, so I was going to do the same concept but use it as a bow.
Cool.
So this will be done this weekend, and it'll be off in the mail this week. So
awesome. So what's performing this week? The first thing on my list of things is the Nora's sweater by Pam Powers. I'm using local alpaca worsted that's been mill spun that I dyed in our royalty colorway using size 8 US 5mm. Last week I was working on the cabled back inset, and I finished that. I was up to this point, and I finished that, and it calls for some neck shaping. It was a little confusing how to decrease with 2 different strands at the same time. I'm not sure if I did it right, but it'll all black out, I think, so I'm not too worried about it. So you can see the cabling and a little bit of lace detail going in there. Hopefully there will be no barking. Both dogs are up in here. And then the other day I started one of the fronts. It's real simple. Thank the bejesus, because not that cabling was that intense, but it was reading a very small chart in a magazine, not fun. And I'll be doing a lot more of that, but I get 13 inches of break of stockinette. So I did a couple rows of ribbing, and again, I'm alternating skeins. So that's the first thing on the needles. The second thing is the Athena scarf by Tanya Berry, knit in Mountain Colors Barefoot in the olive colorway on size 8 US 5mm, and it is in my Silver Shed USA bag. This is her large size. And I'm being good about moving the Dickie-Doos after we record. So I think I got 3 repeats done this week. Not a whole lot, but so this is it in its entirety. It looks longer than it really is. It needs to be longer, but don't worry, I'm not gonna hit you. I know where you're at. Boom! The third thing are the Twisted Sands mitts by Lucia Payne. I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Dramaturg in the Copper Cloud colorway on size 3 US, which is 3.25mm. I'm still loving this pattern. I'm almost done with the second one. I showed you my hoe last week, so I don't have a Dickie-Doo in here because this is all from this week. I am magic looping, which is just crazy sauce. I have finished the thumb gusset increases, so I need to put that on waist yarn the next time I work on these, and then do some more of the pattern and the ribbing and then the thumb, and I will be done. So again, loving this color as well. So I'm really excited to have those as a shop sample. This is in my Tangerine Designs Foxes bag that has the same eyeglass logo on the inside that I picked up at SSK last year. And the last thing are the Donegan socks out of 3 Irish Girls Adorn sock in the Donegan colorway on size 1.5 US 2.5mm. This is in my new Fat Squirrel Fibers Fox Charlie Harper Foxes bag. Do you think I have a fox and glasses issue? I don't know.
Yes.
So, I did put in the ripcord shortly after recording, and I've gone 40 rounds down the foot. I've got to do another 20 rounds. Hopefully that'll be long and not too long for Callie's foot, because these are going to be for Callie before I do the toe, and then I'll do an afterthought heel. So they're still spiralicious, but yeah. So that's that. That's all that's on the needles.
Awesome. Well, I'm working on my hitchhiker, and this is in 716 knits, and I am knitting it on size 4 US 3.5mm, and I don't have the tag on me with the colorway, but it is in our, actually, yes I do, I lied. It's called Rebounding with the Evil Dead, and it's their 716 sock, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon, and there's about 400 yards.
Undead.
Did I say?
Yeah, you said it last week too. I
My
caught
bad.
it when I rewatched it, but it's
My
fine.
bad.
They're dead or undead. They're evil either way. Yeah.
And I'm knitting this, it lies in my lies in my 7 in my Silver Shed USA bag. It's got Babar on it, and I did get asked in a personal message if there was the wife, Babar's mom, fabric. I have yet to see it, but if I did, I know exactly why you want it as well. So if I find that, I will share that. The next project I'm working on is for our colorway cow, and it is in my Tangerine Designs Sugar Skulls bag, and I also got this at SSK, and I have not worked on it since we stopped recording.
That's why DTNs are scary.
Anyways,
she'll fix that in just a second.
That's where I'm at, and I'm using Cascade 220 sport weight, and they are in this darker. This will be for the color work part, and then this light pink for the background. So that's all I'm actively working on.
Nice. You get to that color work.
I will. I have no doubt.
And then you'll find out you love it, and it'll zoom.
I do I feel like I will, so.
It's good. All right. In rehearsal, I did some finagling and some thinking today so that I would actually have something in rehearsal. Lately, I've been like, nothing. I'm just going to finish things, and then, I'll... Sorry, I got distracted. Andy's driving in the driveway, so the dogs may bark, and Ernest may run down the stairs. So if you got earbuds in, I'm bracing you. Give yourself about 30 seconds. But I've never have anything in rehearsal because I finish something and then I just start something in the week. So when I finish the Athena scarf, I'm using my random number generator on the queue to pull for something. And I pulled for something today. And actually it was number 600 in my queue of 1,433. And it is the Show Off Stranded Socks by Ann Campbell. So there is a picture of them. I do not know what I'm going to use yet. I figured I might actually put a call out on Plurk or Instagram to choose something, and depending on the colorway, I'll either make them for myself or Andy or for Callie. So there's different sizes. What else? Oh, and the second thing, when I finish the Twisted Sands mitts, that slot is kind of for shop sample stuff. So rather than doing another pattern, I'm going to take a break from the pattern and I'm going to knit a boomerang, surprise, out of our Show Stealer base in the Anne's Story colorway. This was our variegated special add-on skein for the Little Skein Anne of Green Gables kits, which was very popular. So this is it reskeined. I am going to knit a boomerang out of that for a shop sample. Do you have anything in rehearsal?
I have a baby blanket, and I actually was going to start it today, but my dad's a plumber, pipe fitter, a retired one, and in order to maintain his status, he has to have his plumber's license renewal, so I got to do that before I came here.
All right, behind the scenes, spinning. What is spinning? I'm surprised Ernest isn't running downstairs. I finished the Fiber Optic 80/20 Merino Silk in the Steampunk Gradient colorway, and I have to say this is probably my favorite skein I hand spun, and I'm still going to put it in the shop. Andy was actually trying to talk me into keeping it. It looks awesome in the skein. Oh, and what did I get? I got 372 yards, so close to that 400 mark of chain ply. So it's 3-ply. I'd say it's still a fingering weight, so... Wait till I show you. I'm going to have Andy actually skein this because he does so much better. Wait till I show you what it looks like. Look at that. Do you see how well she does her gradients? She goes from this light gold into a saffrony orange into this really dark black-orange mixture to black to a dark gray to a silver gray. So it is a beautiful gradient. And... yeah, so I'm happy with it. It has been washed and thwacked, and it will be up in the shop maybe tonight. We'll see. So that's that. All right, so what I did not tell you guys last week, because it hadn't showed up yet, is I have agreed to do some commission spinning for somebody, and they sent a whole bunch of fiber, and that's really awesome. I'm so excited. But I am going to switch off between my stash and spinning for them. They are in no rush. They don't really care how it's spun. So I'm just going to do what I like doing right now. So it's a big box, and it actually sits on top of my sweater stash area, and I'm too short for it, so I just put my hand up in there and pulled one out. And the first thing that came out was Fiber Nymph Dye Works 100% Polworth in the Misty Mountains colorway. There's her logo. And here's what I have left of it.
It's turning out really
spinning.
nice.
So I am spinning it straight from the braid. It will have long color repeats because I am going to Navajo ply it. So it should do like a striping, long gradiating effect. So I'm liking that. Cool. Haven't spun Polworth in a really long time. Alright. Sorry. Seems like a lot of me talking.
I was just going to say, sorry if you guys saw me using my phone. Little Corny is sleeping on my foot, and he had his little paw stretched out. Like, it was adorbs. Watch for it on Instagram.
They were playing all morning and driving me nuts. Oh my god, that dog can bark, and it's so high-pitched. And it just rings in a room. He was up here, and oh, I'm glad he's finally... And he took a nap when I took a nap. I took a quick 45-minute nap. And he napped then, too. I think he's just wore out. Alright, what's next? In the spotlight, what am I watching? Podcasts. I did watch a movie, Looper, which starred Jason... No, that's wrong. Something Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes, and Bruce Willis, where it's kind of like people in the future figured out time travel, so they hire assassinators, they send them back in time, and the assassinators kill them and dispose of the bodies. But then eventually they send you back and you kill yourself from the future, and that closes your loop, and then you're retired. Anyway, it was actually better than what I thought it was going to be, so give it a shot. I thought it was pretty interesting. I'll just throw it in here, new podcast that I started watching. I thought about calling this episode Men Knitting Overload or something. I started watching a whole bunch of, yesterday in fact is when I started, new male knitting podcasts. So I watched the premiere episode of Ermine Matters with Mikey Jr. He only has one episode out, and it's only about 20 minutes, so if you want to give him a try, see if you like it. I liked his stuff. He does really good knitting and spinning, so highly recommend giving that a shot. I then have been hearing about Nick's Knits, which is also Knits, and I didn't know how I felt about it. I knew he was a younger knitter. He turns out he's 14, from New Jersey, and if you are watching this is an extreme compliment, because Callie and I have both met this woman, but he reminds me of a male, younger version of Diane. It was really funny. I told Andy that I had started watching it, and Andy's like, I'd be worried watching a 14-year-old boy on the internet, right? Just making a snide comment. And I said, yeah, I actually thought about that, but I said, he's got a better vernacular and more maturity than probably Andy or I. It's really crazy insane. So definitely give him a shot. I watched one of his episodes. I think he's up to 3. And it's a longer episode, but he had just went to Vogue Knitting Live New York, and he talks about his experience there. He's been going for 2 years. This is his 3rd year, and he's met Stephen West and Stephen B. and all these other people and taking classes, and must be doing a lot of chores to have the budget he had to go to Vogue and to buy the yarn that he got. But go him, it's awesome. So,
or he has a nice job. I mean, I paid for a lot because I was working when I was that age.
Under the table. At 14, you can't work until you're 16.
If you have a work permit, you do.
That's 15. Because I got one at 15. I worked under the table at 14. Shh.
We both lead.
But the last one I started watching this morning, and I'm just into his first episode, and he's been out a little longer, and that's The Dancing Geek. Oh, and I can't remember his name. James, maybe? He's over in the UK across the pond. So I'm giving him a shot, and so far I'm liking what I'm seeing. He's got great enthusiasm, which is really nice. So that's what I've been watching.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good now.
I just want to make sure you can
I
still
feel like
hear me.
we're both trying to rush to get through it, but look, we're 20 minutes in and almost done with the regular show, so.
What I have been watching, I've been watching Empire. I liked this week's episode, but it wasn't like my top, like, favorite. But it is what it is, and I thought
Sounds like it's going downhill the last 2 episodes for you.
No, like the episode before this last one, someone got shot, and they just didn't really kind of do anything with it this episode, and I was kind of like, what happened? But I still really like the show. I haven't really had much time to actually watch TV because I've been working pretty crazy hours this week, so it has been busy.
I did forget to say we did watch the premiere of Walking Dead, which comes on again tonight. It was alright. I know there was like somebody died, but so some people were like, oh, what happened? But anyway, I was like, alright. And the new show for Andy and I we started watching is the Great British Baking Show, which is probably no news to a lot of you, but we've gotten into that lately, so we watched that as well.
The other thing that I did watch this week, realizing that it was last Sunday, was not the Oscars, but the Grammys. And I have to say, about the whole Kanye West thing, because I do have an opinion on that.
Of course you do.
Is that, like I said on Facebook, I said, I think we were all, in that moment, we were just kind of surprised. And poor Beyonce has got to send back another, fruit basket or something. Because, she probably had to do the same for Taylor Swift and be like, I am so sorry. This was not expected. This is not something I condone. Here is a gift to know that I respect you as a fellow artist. But really, in all honesty, I mean, Kanye had no business being there and saying what he said backstage, because Beck produced it and he wrote most of the songs. I mean, while I've never given the album a listen, I can't critique it. And I do like Beyonce's album, but I don't think that in a whole body of work that it was necessarily the greatest album. So as a Beyonce fan, it's kind of it doesn't mean I may have liked the album, but it doesn't mean that I think it should have been recognized as the best album. But knowing that a lot of it's based on the number of singles that you put out, how many albums you sell, how many digital sales you have, and that kind of thing, I was kind of surprised by the sheer numbers that Beyonce didn't win. But it's the folks behind the Grammys that make that choice. Those are all just contributing factors.
What am I reading? I am reading 50 Shades of Grey, thanks to Audible, and I am about 6.5 hours into it. I told Callie we're not full-blown sex yet. It's just vanilla sex, as Christian Grey likes to call it. But it's been about 2.5 hours of just details upon details of details. So, I don't know. I can say I read it when I'm done with it, but it's alright. I think some of the dialogue is a little bit lacking. So I have no stash enhancement, and we do not have a book to review. Do you have any stash enhancement?
I do, actually.
What? How do you have stash enhancement?
I actually did not get it, but my dad got me a gift certificate to one of the yarn stores that will be on the tour for Knitting Pipeline retreat. And it's a nice gift card, so I was like, oh, thanks, Dad. That's real nice.
The one he said he wasn't going to get you for Valentine's Day?
Yeah. Well, and he sent me flowers at work, too, so I was really surprised.
Well, that's nice.
I know.
Andy and I didn't do anything. We cooked dinner together and did dishes together, rather than one person cook. Usually he cooks and I do dishes, so. He bought a very nice start to his new kitchen line. He's got so many kitchen pots and pans and gadgets that they're overfloweth. So I was like, if you get really nice ones that are supposed to last a lifetime, really nice ones, really expensive, you need to start getting rid of some of these ones. He's like, what? And his mom even agreed with him. You can't just get rid of these. And I'm like, we don't have any more room.
And you
But-
guys, they don't have a manual can opener or a manual pastry cutter.
Yeah.
That was difficult last
We have an
week.
electric can opener. It's fidgety.
Yeah.
And it was expensive.
Let's not
But
talk about
Andy can make it work.
the shade he was throwing. I've been saying that we need to get a manual can opener.
Only because we spent like $45 on an electric can opener and the thing doesn't work half the time for me. And Andy's
You were
like,
like-
it doesn't do, I don't know what the issue is.
You were throwing so much shade last week.
You're only saying that phrase because we were watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta
Atlanta
before we came up here. Yeah, Andy made a lemon cheesecake with lemon curd on the top. I was like, you need to have a slice of this before we record. It was really
delicious.
Really good. All right. So we want to remind you to enter all your finished objects for the month of February into the February 2015 Race to the Finished Object Contest. We have 2 wonderful prizes. The first is a project bag from the Silver Shed USA. It is in a brown and blue argyle pattern in Anne's medium size, and we would like to thank Anne for donating that. The second prize is a pattern of your choice from the Pearl of the Pacific, which is Lucia Payne. So if you like the Twisted Sands mitts, you could ask her for that. And we'd like to thank Lucia for agreeing to be our featured designer here. All right, we are going to move quickly into shop news, and then we are going to go do the drawings for the 4-year Podiversary. So, if neither one of those interests you, we'll see you next week. But, Leading Men Fiber Arts, we did do some updates this week. I said last week I was probably not going to do a knitting pipeline colorway. However, I had some requests to make a colorway. So I still wasn't going to do it. I was like, I just don't know, and Andy's like, well, you probably should. And I was like, yeah, easier said than done for you. And then the perfect idea popped into my mind, and I told Callie, and she's like, yep. So I did a test skein today, and I'll show it to you next week. I think I'm pretty happy with it. But the idea, or I'll tell you what the colorway name is. Colorway name is A Pigeon Called Martha. If you watch or listen to the Knitting Pipeline, you know exactly what I am talking about. Paula is an avid bird watcher, and she actually did an episode about Martha, the last living passenger pigeon. And so I did some research and drew some inspiration, and came up with a skein that I think you guys will like, and hopefully you will. So there will be a custom colorway at Knitting Pipeline. I am not doing pre-orders. I will just have a certain amount at the show, and you can have that. So I will tell you there will be no there will be no fiber at Knitting Pipeline. The first show we're going to do fiber for is YarnCon, and again, whatever doesn't sell at YarnCon, we'll then put up in the shop, and then we'll do some for ZK, some for SSK, some for YarnCon or Stitches. I was like, that's not new. I announced we were doing Stitches. Alright, so...
I just forgot about it.
You were like, what?
Well, there's so many things that I know before you guys know, and then it's kind of like...
She forgets about it by the time I get to announce it. I'll be happy to announce, too, we have probably... it's not official yet because invoices haven't been paid, but a new wholesale account in another country, which I haven't even told Kelly about, so I'll have to tell her afterwards. So I'll be excited to announce that to you once all that's finalized. All right, let's show you what's been dyed really quickly on Callback Sport Weight. We have Darkest Hour, again black, a tonal black. Of course, my screensaver goes on right when I'm done. We did start dyeing up some of the Anne of Green Gables colorways, and we're going to try dyeing all of them up. We weren't going to dry all of them in the shop, but we'll see how they go. The first one is on Showstopper of 7525. This is the Haunted Wood, and it's actually like a brownish purple, or it's a purplish brown is a better way to put it. I can't take adequate pictures of it. It looked like black. I don't know if you can tell the difference next to the black, but it is different. We also dyed up on Showstopper Green Gables, which is yellowish green. On Box Office, our worsted weight, we have All the Way to the Bank, which is a different green. Callback Pink Lemonade is not that vibrant.
It's a nice shade of pink.
It's rich, but... Callback, we have Metamorphosis. Ever favorite. Box office, we have Eternal Kiss. I was having such a hard time. Same update, I had this, The Haunted Wood, and Darkest Hour, and they all wanted to just look black. I was like, ugh. The Showcase, which is a light fingering, 490 yards of 100% superwash merino. We have Midsummer. Callie actually came up with this colorway. Dramaturg, our DK weight, we have Foxes. What?
Not obsessed with boxes at all.
Callback, we have Merlot. Showcase, we have Poison Ivy, the other colorway Callie came up with. And last but not least on Showcase, we have Country Road. So, that's what's been updated to the shop. We've been doing pretty regular shop updates. And we put about 4 colorways up at a time. So I'll probably be doing some tonight, another update. And that's that. So that's about all the shop news. So let's get into our 4-year Podiversary drawing. Yay! 4 years. That's crazy. We're a little behind on shows. I guess at 4 years at 52 should be about, 208? And we're at 198, so we're about 10 episodes behind. But vacations, this and that, vending, that kind of stuff. Why does it feel wet over there? I really hope they did not go to the bathroom. Maybe it's the window. That's what it's going to be. We have the window open just a crack. Yeah, maybe 10 degrees here, but somebody gets really hot, somebody gets hot, and I like the fresh air.
I was like, I haven't even complained.
No, because I've had it open since you came up here.
I know, but it was open and I was going to be like, hey, do you want to shut the window? But then I was like, yeah, it feels comfortable, so I'm not going to complain.
I had both of them open, and then I went to take my nap, and I was like, I'm going to get up and see my breath in bed. And I was like, So, okay, so I think we're going to switch back and forth, and we both are going to randomly pull 4 winners. And we've pulled some things from our stash. And, Ernest wants to come say hi. Come on. Gotta commit.
And we both pulled from our personal stashes as well.
That's correct. One thing it was donated to me to review, and I ended up never using it. So I figured it needs to go to a good home. So it was sent to me. I think I know what it was. Somebody was drinking water, and their mustache is all wet. Yes. Corndog, come here before we get started. You're awake now.
Corndog was asleep on my left foot, and then he moved to my right foot.
Go. People haven't seen you in 2 weeks. This is Cornelius. He's getting bigger. I know, he still looks so small. But he is getting bigger. That's Ernest. Got a little bit of that water up his nose. So, this is Cornelius, Corndog. He's pretty adorable. Yes. So, he is pretty cute, except he's getting, they play a lot now. And, his bark is kind of ear-splitting sometimes. Oh, nails. Okay, so, let's start. Do you want to go first or me?
I will go first.
Okay.
Alright.
Do you need me to use the random number generator?
Nope, I have one on my phone.
Okay, so we're both going to use our own devices.
And it's not Siri either.
I used it once.
Yep, still hurts. Alright, so let me pull it up on... I want to make sure that I have the right numbers. And there were 45 people that entered in my thread. So it'll be 2 through 45. And the first number was 22. And question number 22 will be playing for, this is a needle case organizer. It's by Erin Lane Dags. And
love those colors.
It's really nice. And a detail that I did not notice was that they're actually frogs.
Are they?
Yeah. They look like frogs to me.
Crazy.
So, I bought this at Stitches Midwest. It has never been used. I got a different needle case shortly after. But one of the things that I do like about this is that it is magnetic, but this top part actually moves up. Because, you know, when you put things in cases like these, they never stay the same size. So it's one magnetic strip in the center. So this will adjust to how much or how little you put in. So I think that's a wonderful design. And question number 22 will be on page 1. And the question comes from You Name It. And actually, I was kind of really, like, I read all of the questions before, and I had thought about this one. And the question is Deserted Island, sorry. I can read. Deserted Island, what yarn do you have? Who is there with you? One person only, and what snack do you have? Okay, so what yarn would I have? I don't know. I would like to think that I would have some form of cotton yarn because I wouldn't need wool.
Still, I couldn't knit with that for the rest of my life.
Sorry,
your question.
It's not something that I like knitting with, but for practicality, if I'm on a deserted island, I want to be cooler than hotter.
But are you going to knit and wear said thing and then never be able to knit again? Or are you hoping to be able to rip something out and just be able to knit again?
It doesn't say that it wouldn't be unlimited. It would just be one yarn.
Okay.
So, and then that, who is there with you and one person only? Ed Sheeran, obviously. And what snack do you have? Nothing really healthy, but probably, well, it's a toss-up between peanut butter or popcorn. So, yeah.
Interesting. So who was that again?
Ed Sheeran.
No, who was the winner?
Oh, sorry.
Somebody has Ed Sheeran on the mind.
I love Ed Sheeran. It's You Name It, and that is Marnie, and she is from Seattle, Washington. So congratulations, you are winning the needle organizer. Just send me a private PM, and I will, with your full name and shipping address, and I will get that in the mail for you.
Depending on who you win from is who you are going to contact for your prize.
Yep.
We figure that's just the simplest way to do it. So, alright, I need to open up mine so that I can type out my winners. The first person that is going to be playing in my game is going to win 2 skeins of this Creative Acres quality yarns. It is 100% alpaca, Surrey alpaca, 4 ounces. It does not have yardage. It is a lace weight. There are 2 skeins of it that were donated to the podcast that were donated to us, and we could keep some. And I was like, I want to do a wonderful shawl, and then I got too much lace weight to be doing all that. So this will be going to the first winner. I do not know how much yardage. I took a guesstimate in my stash page. Sorry. But still lovely to the touch. So let's see who our first winner is in my thread. So I was 2 through 43. I think you had a couple more questions than me.
I did.
And the first winner is number 15. Number 15 is going to be on page 1. What are you guys doing down there?
Just scratching up the leg of your chair.
Oh, but you know, that's a useful use of energy. And that was Little Mermaid. And that is Tina from Moreno Valley, California. And she said, what is the oldest yarn you have in your stash? I do not know. Maybe I could open in a new tab and tell you. I do not know. I know there's some stuff that's been there for a while. Filter, sort by date added. Okay. According to Ravelry, I got too much stash. According to Ravelry, the oldest stash I have is a sweater's worth of Elizabeth Lavold silky wool. I have 13 skeins of it in a blue, like a midnight blue, colorway 65 that I got from Webb's, and I think I got that from, when did it say I entered it?
February 11th?
2009. Yeah. That's like 6 years old.
Good math.
I've been on that sweater knitting. I do look at it. It sits on my sweater stash. It's still good. It's not
sweater stash.
A sweater stash. It's different from my regular stash back here. Don't judge.
I'm just calling you out because I can.
So, Tina, please get in contact with me and you will win the Surrey alpaca. Your turn.
All right. Let's see. Sorry. The second number is number 44, and that is on page 2. And that is Artist Maybe, and that is Mary from Vancouver. And her question was, were you a 4-H member when you were a child? And the answer is yes. I joined when I was a freshman in high school. So I didn't do it when I was little, but I did do it when I was in high school. And what you are winning, Mary, is yarn or fiber that I had purchased and Steve had spun up for me. And it is from First Draft, and it's the Harvest 2 colorway. It's 280 yards and a fingering weight. It's 100% superwash BFL. And this is what it looks like. It's really gorgeous. It's been sitting in my stash and I haven't used it, but I thought this would be great since I bought it. Steve spun it for me, and I thought that'd be a nice Powderversary gift. So congratulations. Get in contact with me and I will put that in the mail for you.
Awesome. This is fun. I like doing this. Mm-hmm. We'll have to do it next year with 5 prizes each. Can you imagine if we're doing this 25 years from now? Crazy! Alright, I need to generate another number. Number 3! Are you it? Are you the winner? Number 3, number 3, number 3. Number 3 in my thread is Deb Knits 2. It says, if you could knit your dream project, any pattern, any yarn, what would it be? My dream project. Oh, I don't know. I just like knitting. That's the hard part. But I guess my dream project would really be a cardigan for me that fit miraculously well, that didn't hug the wrong curves in the wrong way, that was simple enough yet had just a little bit of detail. I like the functionality of zippers. I'll never sew one in. If I ever do, I'll have to give my sweater to Callie or ask one of all you lovely people who can sew. But I think I like the idea of buttons, but I don't want the buttons to pull. Yes, I know that if you really work hard at your knitting and sweaters, you can make this happen, but
Not there yet.
No, I'll never care enough. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm going to knit it. If it works, it works. So I think that would probably be my dream project. I would love it in probably some 100% cashmere. Let's just go 100% if I could have my dream project. That doesn't pill. And isn't too hot. And it's water and stain resistant. When it sees things come towards it, it goes, no! Because, you know, it's a dream project, right? So, dream yarn. So that would probably be my question, or my answer to that question.
So it's superpower in every stitch.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What are they winning?
Oh! Good question. You're winning a skein of Highland Handmaid's silver maple sock.
Enunciation is fun!
60% superwash merino, 30% bamboo, 10% nylon, 425 yards in the in-flight colorway. This was from her last year's club. Snapshots of Maine Club, which just didn't scream my name, but hopefully you will enjoy knitting with it. So, Deb Knits 2. I'm assuming it's Debbie. You've won from us before, but yes, Debbie from Manchester, Connecticut. Please get in contact with me with your first and last name and mailing address, and this will be on its way to you. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Your turn.
All right. I should probably not knit and do this, but...
That's why I haven't knit at all this show.
All right. Ooh, bad things. Okay. So the next number is number 6. And that is a person who's lovely, I am sure. And it is Rosie L. I'm going to go out on a limb and say your first name's Rosie. And it is. And she is from West Des Moines, Iowa. I almost said Des Moines.
Des Moines. Just like people who say Illinois. Trust me, I know.
And her question was, what made you want to start a podcast? Since I personally did not start it, but Steve was a part of the Podcaster Challenge back in a while ago.
2012? 11? No.
2011, yeah. Because I had just graduated.
Yeah.
And so Steve, one of the challenges was invite a guest onto your show. And
I had met Callie a couple times at knit night or, thereabouts, or, just, I went to my local yarn store a lot more, and I probably bothered him a lot more than I encouraged. I lived there a lot, but Callie was there a lot, so.
Yep.
I forgot how many episodes I did by myself, but Callie was on pretty early on, within the first year, so.
Yeah. We started that in, August, maybe, and you had been podcasting since February, so.
About 6 months.
Yeah. So he's been asking me back ever since.
And
one
now
of these
we're
days.
getting married,
yeah,
so,
Yeah, so one of these days, I mean. But, that is...
And what do they win?
They win... Okay. I bought this at SSK, and Steve knows how much I love this, but I also love you guys, so... because when I bought it, part of it was packaging, part of it was an awesome team, part of it was just everything. Let's be real honest, okay? Homegirl loves her some awesomeness. So, what it is, I'm going to put it back in the package. I just took out the little insert so that way you could see the packaging. Is a kit, and it is from Jinx Yarns and Little Skein and the Big Wool. And so this kit was put together, and it's the Alice kit. And Emma Welford is the designer. I do have the pattern. I didn't print it off and bring it because I didn't want to show it. But it is designing a little, shawl, kerchief. It could be a shawl depending how big you are. It could be a kerchief. It's really whatever size you want to make it. But, so, to undo the packaging, it is this wonderful bag, and it's got Alice in Wonderland theme. You can see the caterpillar and Alice's silhouette, and there's quotes. And on the inside, there's also quotes, and it's a nice square bottom bag. So this is in it, the pattern is in it. And then you get a skein of the wonderful Jinx yarn. And it is in this gorgeous colorway. You guys know I must really love you. And it's the single merino, and it's in the Wonderland colorway. It's 100% superwash merino, and there's 400 yards. And it is absolutely gorgeous. So you're getting the yarn, the bag, and the pattern. So I hope you love it as much as I do, and I'll be on the lookout for a new kit either from Jinx or from Little Skin and the Big Wool.
Awesome.
So, congratulations and get in touch with me.
Third question is number 25 from me, or for me. And that's going to be all the way at the bottom. That is Rherlith. I don't know. Rherlih. Rherlih. And that is Rosemary from Bolingbrook, Illinois, which is actually where I grew up until I graduated and went to college. I lived in Bolingbrook. That's crazy. And it says, to either Steve or Callie, when can you bring Andy on the show, Rosemary? Not going to happen.
That's one of his conditions.
Yep.
You have to go to an event to meet him.
Yep. You have to be at an event that we are at together to meet him. And he doesn't want to be on the show. We thought about it. I almost got him on the show.
After New York.
After New York, to thank the person who kindly gifted us tickets to the Natural History Museum. And I almost got him on the show to thank you guys about another time about the business. I don't remember when, around the holidays or something like that. And I was like, it'd really mean a lot to me. But he is just, it's not his thing. You know what I mean? And he's getting into the show atmosphere, which is really cool. I think the first show he didn't know what to expect. Our first show was really, really slow. Really small thing. But, he was like, it was so slow he was almost bored. But doing the events that we do now, I think he tends to have fun. And he likes, it's fun to see him excited about the business in front of people. You know what I mean? Like, he likes it and he does. But this is a business venture, really, for him. You know what I mean? We're trying to pay off bills and remodel our house and, and it is about a business for him. But he takes pride in it in shows, and it's really fun to see him get excited when other people are excited about our product. Yeah. And that's why I got into the business. So we're a good melding. But unfortunately, you will probably never see him on the show. I do post pictures to Instagram. So, Rosemary, if you're on Instagram, definitely change there. In fact, I told him last night for Valentine's Day, I changed the Instagram picture for Leading Men Fiber Arts to a picture from the both of us from New York. So I figured it should represent both of us, not just my smiling mug up on Leading Men Fiber Arts on Instagram. So you could see us both through there, but you will never see him on the show, most likely. Never say never. But he is dead set adamant on not being on the show. So he's like, that's your thing.
And he's very friendly.
Yes.
So.
He doesn't have RBF so much. He can, but not as much as either one of us. So.
Well, and he works in, he works with customers. Retail. And so he's very friendly.
What are you winning? I'm sorry, I get so excited about the question. You're like, that's great. What did I win? You won some more Highland Handmaids. This is in the red maple sock, which is 50% superwash merino, 50% tencel, 415 yards in the home colorway. So it's got this pinkish red, this kind of sprucey green, and undyed. So you win that. So congratulations to Rosemary.
Awesome. So the next prize for me is Vibra Natura in the Yummy base. It's 100% superwash wool, and it's got about 370 yards. And I had to look at the price tag to figure out where I bought this. But I bought this at a yarn store that was in Uptown Normal. And then they moved to another location in Uptown Normal.
No, they were off campus. They weren't Uptown. Because they were by the post office, and then they moved across from the south side. And then they just disappeared.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because let me just... Personally, yeah, the owner was not very nice.
They were rude. But
the yarn is good. It's not rude yarn. Good. But I was laughing because I looked at the label and it said pot dyed. And I was like, do they mean kettle dyed? And I just thought of people dying with pot.
It's an experience.
I'm sure it'll give off some color.
So, moving right along, the winner of that is number 24. And 24 is on page 1 as well. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I only say oh my gosh because like I was in like 4 apps at once there for a second. And it is from Nelsor. And that is Rita, and she's from Burlington, Washington, so congratulations. And her question was, what is one of your favorite yarn and projects? What is your least favorite project? So I'm going to tackle this one at a time. What is your favorite yarn and project? That would probably be... I have to say, it is... my Viber Nymph.
Viber Nymph?
Fiber Nymph.
Fiber Nymph.
Fiber Nymph.
Dyeworks.
Thank you. In the Apple and Gala Red and Apple Festival colorway. It has been really hard. And that is in the Broken Seed pattern. I really love both of those yarns. And I really honestly don't remember the base. I think it was Cozy.
Yeah, it was worsted.
It was Cozy. And I really, really loved that. And actually, I went to go put it on the other day and there was a snag. And it was a big snag. So I really haven't just sat down to fix it. But I really love that. And that is one of my favorite projects. It's also really simple. What is your least favorite project? Usually if I don't like it, I rip it out. So there's that answer. And how did the two of you meet? The two of us met actually because I had met Steve like once at Knit Night, and then I actually had him commissioned to do spinning for me.
Oh, that's right. Didn't I do some grain or something for you?
Yeah, it was apple martini.
Forgot that. Oh. We had met a couple times though.
Mm-hmm.
But we had met, but it wasn't like we sat and had a conversation. It was kind of across the table like, oh, did you meet so-and-so? Oh, did you meet so-and-so?
Yeah. Because you were really close to another knitting friend of ours. And so you kind of talked to her a lot during the night. And then, so yeah. And then who came up with the idea of starting podcast? And that was Steve.
Yep.
So congratulations and send me your info.
All right. And the last question of the night, and look, we're going to keep this under an hour. I swear I'm not going to take 2.5 minutes, is number 36. So the last question, the last winner, is that you, 36, is Digital Dinah. And that is Bergfried? Sorry. I'm so sorry. From Norway. I'm not even going to try the town. And it says, how do you organize your RavQ? Do you ever groom or tag, or do you use it as bookmarks? I kind of put everything that I could potentially see myself knitting into my queue. I use my favorites now to favorite things, people that have knit things out of Leading Men Fiber Arts, or if there's like a really unique or quirky, cool project that I like, that I will put that in my favorites. But anything I could potentially see myself knitting, I put in my queue. Now, tastes do change. If you've been a long-time viewer, I had a student teacher last year, and I had a lot of downtime on my hands, so I went through my queue, which was over 3,000 items last year, and got rid of everything that I was like, what was I thinking, right? Because it had been like 5 years. And got rid of a lot of things and got down to like just around 1,000 items, and I'm almost hitting 1,500 again. I get bored from time to time when I check the patterns. I'm like, just throw it in there, throw it in there, throw it in there. I don't really organize them. The only thing I've done recently is I've tried to put all the men's sweaters up towards the top so that when I'm ready for a sweater, rather than, randomly pulling a project, which the sweater could show up on my random number generator when I'm ready to, find the next project. But when I'm like, I really want a sweater, like when the fall starts to hit, I'm like, I'm in sweater mode, I can know they're all in one place and I don't have to tag them or anything. I just kind of, because if when you hit something to add to your queue, you can save and adjust position at the bottom rather than just save, and it'll open it up and you can change the number or drag and drop it. So I usually just drag it up to the top 5, and now like the top 15 or so patterns are men's sweater patterns that I can see myself potentially knitting. So what did you win? You won this project bag from Yazzie, and it's a messenger bag, sort of. It has this, one of the reasons why it's never grown on me, and Callie never, oops, there goes my iPad. Callie never really took advantage of it, is there are these hooks on either end rather than on both on one side. But, you know, it might be more ergonomic, as we said, but there's a large pocket in the front. There's a pocket in the back that's the full size, and we've reviewed this before. And a pocket, you know, an opening, tons of pocket space in here. It is very well made. I'll give you that. And then I'm also going to throw in, they gave me a Notions packet, or you could use it for needles and whatnot, and that is through yazzie.com. So that is coming your way. So please give me your first and last name and full mailing address, including country and any of those fun numbers that I need to have. And this will be on its way to you. So
awesome. I do think it's a wonderful bag. I just, if I'm going to carry that much weight, I want it to be a crossbody.
Yep.
And it's taken me years to find a perfect crossbody. And
unfortunately, the strap is not adjustable. So there's no, they're very well sewn, but
yeah.
So that's coming your way. So thank you everyone for, you know,
staying with us
for 4 years. If you're new, hopefully you'll stick with us. Thank you especially to those who submitted questions. I know sometimes, you know, we feel like we need to keep some of the personal stuff out to keep time down or keep your interest or whatever, but you know, some of you really like to get to know about us, and we like to put ourselves out there. So I think that's pretty much about it. Hopefully we'll do this again next year for year 5. So, and we'll do 5 winners each. So that'll be fun. Get a new tradition going. I did want to quickly mention, I have decided, I think I am going to try this week to upload the video to YouTube. I know a lot of people have really been requesting that, and a lot of people have gone to subscribing there. So we want to make ourselves available to you however you'd like to watch, and if it's just another upload for me, I can do that for you guys. So I'm going to try this week. We'll see how it goes. So until next week,
we hope you
knit something dramatic.